everyone, I'm Melanie.
And I'm Shannon.
Welcome to a Book Chronicle vlog. We're going to do some vlogging and go to our favorite Starbucks and just chill. And we'll catch you on the flip side.
Gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace. Kicking your can all over the place, singing, we will rock you. We will rock you.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Book Chronicles. I'm Melanie.
And I'm Shannon.
And today we thought we'd do a little bit of update as far as our reading haul. And let you know that we are going to take part in the 'Tis the Season-a-thon that's started by the Bookables.
What? Excuse me?
Started by the Bookables, right?
Yeah.
And Chelsea Doling Reads. They're doing a readathon called 'Tis the Season-a-thon. And we thought that we would take part in that. So we'll actually do a TBR for that. And I do still want to get my nonfiction November recommendations available. But these are the books that I read so far. First book is How Starbucks Saved My Life by Michael Gates Gill. It is about an advertising executive that has lived the life of privilege, and he learns to live as everybody else. He gets a job at Starbucks, and he learns about diversity and teamwork and what it means to learn from the mistakes that he made as an advertising agent. So this is a very good book, especially if you are a manager somewhere. I would definitely suggest reading this book because it is a very positive book as far as teaching you that work gives you dignity and the value of hard work. And it is a very highly suggested read. I would definitely recommend this book if you're looking for a good read for nonfiction November. This is definitely a book that I would read. I have also read Terry Pratchett's Guards. This is part of a novel from the Discworld series. And it is about this group of individuals called the Night Watchmen. And two dragons end up, one is being bred by somebody, and a long-beloved, extinct, a superb specimen of the Draco Nebulus, noble dragon, has not appeared in the Discworld's greatest city. Not only does this unwelcome visitor have a nasty habit of charbroiling everything in its path, in rather short order it is crowned king. Meanwhile, back in the Unseen University, the ancient and long forgotten volume, The Summoning Dragons, is missing from the library's shelves. To rescue come Captain Vimes, Constable Carrot, and the rest of the Night Watch, who, along with other brave citizens, risk everything, including a good roasting, to dethrone the flying monarch and restore order to Arath-Mapor before it burns to a crisp. So it's about this dragon who tries to take over, and the Night Watchmen have to try to save the city. And it's a very good book. I enjoyed it. I do not like fantasy that much, but this is a very good fantasy book. And it has a lot of British humor. Like, if you like Barney Miller and comedians such as that, you'll definitely love this book. I also read this book, and it is now a major motion picture. I do not like the cover, but the story is amazing. And it is a true story. In Colorado, he has a Jewish police officer play him when he is face-to-face with the other members of the Ku Klux Klan, and he speaks to the Klansman over the phone, the African-American guy, Ron Stallworth. They basically find out what's going on and what their plans are. So I don't like the cover. I wish they'd chosen a different cover. I guess it's for shock value or something, but the story is very good. It is an amazing story, and it rings true today with the current climate and political climate that we have. It is very good at helping us understand what needs to be done as far as who takes office and where our political values are. And then I have A Very Large Expanse of Sea, and it is about this young girl named Shirin, who is a Muslim young teenager going to high school, and her brother Naviv, after it's post 9/11, and the way she escapes is through learning to break dance. It's a very, very good story. I really enjoyed the book. It's in 2002, a year after 9/11, and Shirin has just started at yet another school. It's been an extremely turbulent time in the world, but also for someone like Shirin, a 16-year-old Muslim girl who is tired of being stereotyped. Shirin is never surprised by how horrible people can be, but she's tired of the rude stares, the degrading comments, and even physical violence. So all of this, she also explains the reason for her wearing a hijab and how it is her choice. And I really appreciate this book. It is a book that we really need today in this world. And Tahara Mafi is just an amazing writer. She writes such beautiful work. I also I read this book, Columbine, by David Cullen, who is a reporter, and it talks about the Columbine shootings. It talks about the mental illness of the two guys, Eric and Dylan, who violently shot teens in Columbine, about 13 youth, and one teacher they shot. So this was very good as far as understanding the tragedy, trying to keep us from having this tragedy happen again, and also gets us into the mindset of what the psychiatrist would call a psychopath. So it actually explains in detail what actually a psychopath is and things that maybe we need to know in order to stop future events like this from happening. Now, the books that I'm hoping to read, I've also read Anne Frank's graphic novel of Anne Frank, and it was very good. Of course, everybody knows the story. It was very sad, heartbreaking story, but it's a story that needs to be told. And for the younger individuals, I would suggest the graphic novel, if they're like 5 or 6, to help them understand Anne Frank's story a lot better. Hopefully, they will learn about what happened to Anne Frank when they attend middle school or high school. If you want to get them on the road to learning about this event in history and what happened to this 15-year-old girl, this would be a great place to start, I think. Also, I am hoping to read Someday Maybe, and it's kind of a holiday read. It's by Lauren Graham. I haven't read it yet, so I'm hoping it has to do with the ugly sweater, Christmas sweater contest and all that. Book, it says in January 1995, and Franny Banks has just 6 months left of a 3-year deadline she set herself when she came to New York, dreaming of Broadway and going to important work. But all she has to show for her efforts is a part in an ad for ugly Christmas sweaters and a gig waiting tables at a comedy club. Her roommates, her best friend Jane and Dan, are aspiring writers. and they're very supportive, yet Franny knows a 2-person fan club doesn't exactly count as success. So I am excited to read this book. I have not had any problems with any of the books that I've read so far, except for the cover of Black Klansman. I didn't like that cover. I wish that the publisher would have went for a different cover, but I'm also reading, I read this from the library, the audiobook from the library. It's My True Love Gave to Me. It's 12 holiday stories, edited by Stephanie Perkins, Holly Black, Allie Carter, Matt Della Pena, Gail Foreman, Jenny Han, David Levithan, Kelly Link, Myra McIntyre, Stephanie Perkins, Rainbow Rowell, Laini Taylor, and Kristen White. All wrote stories in this book, and I am very excited to read this. I am also still hoping to get into Attachments by Rainbow Rowell and What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli. Unfortunately, Shannon is decided she's not feeling too well. So, I guess I'll end this video. She was coloring early today. I hope you had a chance to see that. Also, our friends Liko from Liko Loves Books and our friends Melissa from Melissa and Barnsey Read have uploaded some videos. So, I hope you get a chance to check those videos out as well. Until next time, I'm Melanie, and this was Shannon. And we wish you peace, love, books, and coffee.